Hey guys, welcome back to Sightline Strategies. Today, what we're going to talk about are range bags, or specifically what to put in your range bag, especially for those of you that are just starting your shooting journey. You're starting to take your classes seriously, maybe shooting a little bit of competition, and you're going to the range with a plan, and you're not just trying to shoot into a pile of trash. These are just some basic things that I keep in my range bag, among others, but we're going to talk about the basics and the necessities, just like Baloo says. Ha, Anyways, let's get started. Let me dig it out here. Ear Pro, specifically electronic Ear Pro. These things are low profile. I would suggest a low profile there so they fold out because space is a premium like everything else in our life. Another quick pro tip is gel cup inserts right there. Long hot days on the range, those Ear Pro are actually squeezing down on your eye pro, and having gel cup inserts, there's all kinds of aftermarket ones that will fit most major brands, make life a lot easier there. The electronic Ear Pro you can get from anywhere from 50 bucks, I'd say all the way up to 80 bucks, and those are some really good brands in there and some very popular brands that you just can't go wrong with. So gel cup inserts being about 15 to 20 bucks. So if you know these Howard lights about 50 bucks plus gel cup inserts, you're still in a really good brand of electronic Ear Pro for less than 60 bucks. Okay, can't beat that at all. If you think about it, electronic Ear Pro, because you can hear better, especially when you're on a line with other students, you can hear range commands, you can hear what's going on down the line with electronic Ear Pro. Think about it as enhancing your own safety and, of course, your fellow student safety if you're out of class, because what you hear, they may not hear, and vice versa. iPro, of course. I would suggest iPro. Get yourself a case for that iPro. Do not just throw your iPro into the bag. Shooting is visual. If you mess up or scratch up your shooting glasses, that is going to distract you from seeing what you need to see. Also, if you spend a little bit of money on prescription glasses, or you spend the money out because there's a ton of good stuff out there that's very expensive, you don't want to ruin those very quickly. However, my pro tip, you know I'm a fan of the pro tip, guys. Big box hardware stores, construction eyewear, rated just as highly with the safety rating as shooting wear, right? Because that's the biggest thing in the shooting community is get tactical or whatever. The construction eyewear is going to be just as beneficial as some of the other stuff that's out there, and it will come with cases and things like that. Just a quick pro tip. I use DeWalt safety glasses as my shooting glasses. It gives me full wraparound coverage. The lenses are very clear. It's great. Just something to think about. Moving on, something that should be in everybody's range bag, regardless if you're a beginner or not, is a actual trauma kit. There's a lot of good trauma kits out there on the market. Just something with a tourniquet or two, trauma shears, and in here I have chest seals, seals being plural, and with the wound packing stuff, some type of clotting agent on the wound packing, and other things that you need to think about along with the training. A caveat to gloves in your trauma kit. That's what I was thinking of. You need to have gloves. Protect yourself first, guys, if you're trying to administer aid to somebody else with a severe bleed. A caveat to the trauma kit and other med gear in your range bag is have some type of boo-boo kit. A boo-boo kit is not a trauma kit, okay? Do not let people try to say that they are the same. They're not. A boo-boo kit is just that. The number one injury on a range is going to be a finger cut from some type of thing, usually on the target stand. Staples. People cut themselves on staples all the time. When people shoot the clips and they cut themselves. Spalling on the 2x4s if you've been shooting steel, on the steel targets themselves, if you're shooting some kind of ratty steel, people cut themselves all the time. So a boo-boo kit with some band-aids, maybe some neosporin, maybe some medical tape, things like that, it's not a bad idea to keep in your range bag just for those basic things like that. That's why I also keep Advil in mind, because if I'm on the line all day long and I'm taking a 2 or 3 day class, usually by the end of that I want a little something to stave off a headache, even with Ear Pro on. Moving on, a cool thing that people don't think of, and I think everybody should. Granted, most of my friends are all Glock shooters. I'm pretty much an exclusive Glock shooter when it comes to handguns. I keep multiple mag pouches in my range bag. Now, I do this because sometimes at a class an instructor will want you to have 3, 4, sometimes bring as many magazines as you can to the line to keep the class on the line and shooting and learning as long as possible. But if you are just starting out and you're kind of figuring out what you like and you don't like, get a universal magazine pouch. There's some really good ones out there. That way, if you switch from maybe like a Glock to an M&P to a SIG, you don't have to buy an actual molded Kydex mag pouch. You can actually switch back and forth and they'll serve you just fine, and you can still hand them out to people if you put more than one in your range bag. That way you can help those out. But that's something to keep in mind. I think is really useful. I've got a buddy that still keeps one in his range bag, and I used to, and I need to put it back in there just because it's beneficial. Why not? It works for a lot of different mags. Other than that, guys, a couple of things that minor things that you should, that people don't think of, is cleaning kit. You don't have to clean your guns on the line, but sometimes, you know, putting a brush behind an extractor or something like that, if you've been shooting a while or haven't cleaned in a while, that may be beneficial. But let's see, lube. If you're taking classes, you're shooting pretty hard, pretty fast, multi-day classes, it never hurts to maybe do a quick lube, you know, during downtime, something like that. But it's always good to keep your guns lubed. Keep a good small bottle of lube, whatever your favorite is. I don't care what it is, as long as it's good quality lube. Put it in your range bag. And then last but not least is Sharpie and pen and paper. Okay, keep them in your range bag. Sharpie, because even at my classes, even at baseline handgun, you're going to mark your targets. Sharpie does it the best. Okay, so that way you can mark and annotate things on the target. Some paper, something to take notes with. Even when I take classes, I still take notes to this day. I don't type it on my phone. I actually like to write it down. You are proven to remember things more if you write them down, even with technology today. I've never had an instructor get on me about writing notes, or if I politely ask them to repeat a thought or a phrase when they're explaining a technique, so I can jot it down, so I can practice it on my own time and also rewrite my notes. But keeping a notepad and a pen in your range bag so you always have it handy is always a beneficial thing, in my opinion, to have right there. So as always, guys, this is just the basics. Everything has a beginning. I hope this helps. I hope to see you in future classes. And if you have any questions or concerns, leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. What are your basics in regards to what you keep in your range bags? Again, just the basics. What do you guys think are keeping things easy for people? As always, guys, hope this helps. I'll see you next time.